Well, moving on now, the European Union says it's pursuing a new direction in how it cooperates with the African continent. It's calling for a new Africa-Europe alliance. And while Brussels hopes it will create jobs, the plan is also aimed at stopping migration from sub-Saharan Africa into Europe. Well, CGTN's Europe correspondent Jack Parrock tells us more.
The new thinking here in Europe is on a continent-to-continent economic agreement between Europe and Africa.
In these last 4 years, we've been building step by step a different kind of partnership with Africa, a partnership of equals with the continent that is the closest one to Europe, only 14 kilometers away from our coasts, a continent whose development, security, guarantees also Europe's development and security.
The proposed alliance includes a plan to bring 35,000 African students to Europe under a scheme to increase training, as well as investing in vocational training for 750,000 people on the African continent. There is also set to be investment in infrastructure projects like roads and accessible electricity. The main thing Europe wants to do is to make it easier for private investors to go into Africa. Brussels hopes 10 million jobs could be created before 2020 if the plan is implemented. Despite the talk of China's growing involvement in Africa, in 2017 Africa's goods trade with Europe totaled $284 billion, compared to $125 billion from China.
Europe has been negotiating free trade agreements with African countries, the economic partnership agreements. It was successful in Southern Africa, but when they tried to negotiate with other regions, so far there's not been a success. Take a country like Nigeria, refused to conclude the regional free trade agreement with Europe, and therefore the whole region could not conclude it with Europe. Why would they do so at the continental level?
Migration from sub-Saharan Africa into the European Union via a destabilised Libya is also a major factor in this plan. The EU wants to create jobs on the African continent to reduce the push factors of those who decide to leave in search of a better future here in Europe. But this plan to deepen economic cooperation with Africa is coming in the last year of the current political mandate of the European Commission. The question will be whether the momentum will be carried over on this after European elections in May 2019. Jack Parrock, CGTN, Brussels.